Ladies and gentlemen, when we think about life-changing practices, our minds often jump to dramatic transformations, quitting a job, traveling the world, or taking extreme measures to overhaul our routines. But from a psychological standpoint, the truth is far subtler, and far more accessible. Life-altering change rarely comes from spectacular actions. It emerges quietly, in the small, often overlooked habits that accumulate over time and reshape not only what we do, but who we are. Today, I want to explore 10 such habits, mundane on the surface, yet profoundly transformative beneath. 1. Waking up early. It may sound cliched, yet the act of waking up early is a cornerstone of cognitive and emotional health. From a psychiatric perspective, this habit aligns circadian rhythms with natural light cycles, improving mood regulation, attention, and stress resilience. It is not about being productive, in the traditional sense, it is about creating a stable neurological foundation that quietly primes the brain for optimal performance throughout the day. 2. Journaling and reflection. Writing down your thoughts each day may seem trivial or even tedious, but the act of organizing your inner world on paper has deep psychological effects. Journaling strengthens self-awareness, reduces intrusive rumination, and fosters clarity in decision-making. This habit quietly rewires the mind, turning scattered thoughts into structured insight and reinforcing a coherent sense of self. 3. Daily movement. Whether it's a short walk, stretching, or gentle yoga, movement is a habit that dramatically impacts mental health. Neuroscience tells us that consistent physical activity increases the production of neurotrophic factors, essential chemicals that support brain growth and resilience. Small, repeated motion is a subtle reinforcement of vitality that silently transforms both mood and cognitive capacity. 4. Mindful consumption. The foods we eat, the media we consume, even the conversations we engage in daily, these are not trivial choices. Habits of mindful consumption train the brain to discriminate between what nourishes and what depletes, building mental clarity over time. By quietly curating inputs, we reinforce a sense of control and foster long-term psychological well-being. 5. Strategic pauses. It may seem unproductive to pause, but intentional breaks in activity allow the nervous system to recalibrate. These boring pauses, moments spent in silence, observing, or simply breathing, reduce cortisol levels, improve focus, and enhance emotional regulation. From a psychiatric perspective, they act as internal resets that protect against burnout and impulsivity. 6. Reading daily. Even 15 minutes of reading per day can profoundly influence thought patterns. It expands empathy, stimulates imagination, and strengthens cognitive flexibility. Unlike flashy activities that give immediate gratification, reading develops slow, meaningful neural adaptations that subtly enhance problem-solving and emotional intelligence. 7. Prioritizing sleep. Sleep is a habit too often neglected in our culture of constant stimulation. Yet, from a psychiatric lens, consistent sleep is foundational for memory consolidation, mood stability, and executive function. The mundane act of going to bed at the same time each night quietly rewires the brain, producing long-term gains in both performance and emotional resilience. 8. Setting micro-goals. Large goals often overwhelm the psyche, creating frustration and avoidance. But breaking them into tiny, manageable steps fosters consistent progress. Each small success reinforces neural circuits associated with reward and motivation, gradually transforming the way we perceive our own capabilities. In essence, the habit of micro-goal setting rewires our identity, making achievement feel natural rather than forced. 9. Expressing gratitude. Taking a moment to recognize and reflect on what is good in our lives may seem banal, but it profoundly affects mental health. Gratitude practices shift attention away from scarcity and negativity, fostering optimism, strengthening social bonds, and enhancing overall life satisfaction. Neuroscientifically, it strengthens pathways that sustain positive emotion, rewiring the mind toward contentment. 10. Consistent self-care rituals. Finally, mundane routines such as bathing mindfully, maintaining hygiene, or organizing one's environment may appear trivial, yet they provide structure, predictability, and a sense of control. Psychiatric research highlights that such rituals reduce anxiety and reinforce the internal narrative of self-efficacy. In essence, these small acts communicate silently to the brain: I am capable, I am cared for, I am in charge of my life. Each of these habits may seem boring at first glance. They lack the drama of grand resolutions or the immediate excitement of visible progress. Yet, it is precisely this consistency and subtlety that makes them so powerful. Psychologically, transformation is not about drastic leaps, it is about quietly realigning the nervous system, rewiring perception, and shaping identity through repeated, small choices. When we adopt these habits, we are not merely changing what we do, we are changing who we are at the most fundamental level. We are training our brains to operate differently, fostering resilience, enhancing focus, and cultivating emotional stability. Over months and years, these seemingly trivial routines accumulate, quietly constructing a life that feels more aligned, purposeful, and fulfilling. So, if you wish to reinvent your life, do not search for spectacular interventions. Begin with the mundane. Wake up a little earlier. Journal your thoughts. Move your body. Read a few pages. Sleep consistently. Pause intentionally. Express gratitude. Set tiny goals. Care for yourself, consistently. These habits, though boring on the surface, hold the capacity to transform your existence profoundly. The quiet power of habit lies not in its flashiness, but in its subtle, cumulative effect. By embracing the ordinary, you unlock the extraordinary potential within yourself. And in that slow, steady process, life is quietly, beautifully, reinvented. Thank you.